What if the person you trusted the most, the one who promised forever, was living a deep, painful secret? A betrayal so close, it shatters not just hearts, but an entire family's foundation. This is the story of Morgan and Clara Grant, a mother and daughter torn apart by heartbreak, loss, and truths too hard to face. Stay with us as we unravel their emotional journey, one you won't see coming. Prepare for heartbreak, suspense, and hope. Welcome back to Animated Books, where every story brings deep emotions to life. Today we're diving into Regretting You by Colleen Hoover, a gripping family drama about sacrifice, secrets, and the complicated love between a mother and daughter. Morgan gave up so much for her daughter Clara, but when tragedy strikes, everything she believed in is put to the test. Get ready for a roller coaster of feelings. Let's begin. Morgan Grant never imagined her life would turn out this way. At 17, caught in the whirlwind of teenage pregnancy, she was forced to give up her dreams of becoming a doctor and instead became a wife and mother. Her world shifted overnight. Every choice she made after that was for her baby girl, Clara. I wanted better for my daughter. I wanted her to have everything I never had. But I never thought our bond would be tested like this. Morgan devoted herself to raising Clara with love and discipline. But Clara wasn't the obedient child Morgan hoped for. Clara was fierce, stubborn, independent, and hungry for a life different from her mother's. Their relationship was full of raw emotions: love, frustration, silent battles, and often a painful distance neither knew how to close. Still, on the surface, their lives seemed normal. Clara preparing for school, Morgan managing the household. But the cracks started quietly. Arguments over small things, silences that stretched too long, trust slowly eroding. Morgan's husband, Chris, the rock of the family, worked at the hospital and tried to hold everyone together. Yet shadows lingered in their daily lives, secrets buried beneath smiles. It's a bright morning when everything changes. Chris sets out on an ordinary drive, but fate has other plans. The injury came like a thunderclap. Chris's car collided, and Morgan was called to the hospital with a heart pounding in terror. But the nightmare was just beginning. Here's the shocking twist. Chris wasn't alone. Morgan's own sister, Jenny, was in the car with him. Both were critically injured. Both would leave behind secrets thick enough to choke their family. I never imagined betrayal would come from the people I loved most. Investigations revealed a hidden affair between Chris and Jenny. The man Morgan trusted, her husband, the father of her child, was living a double life. And the woman she once called sister had been part of it all along. For Clara, the truth was earth-shattering. The father she looked up to, the woman she saw as family, both gone, both involved in a betrayal she never saw coming. Her teenage rebellion screamed louder in these painful moments, her grief mixing with confusion and guilt, especially when she realized her texts to Jenny earlier may have distracted her that tragic day. Why didn't anyone tell me? Why was I always left in the dark? Morgan, drowning in pain, struggled to keep the family from falling apart entirely. But every lie to shield Clara only deepened the wounds. Tensions erupted at home. Arguments, tears, shattered trust. Morgan forbade Clara from seeing Miller, her boyfriend, fearing Clara's turbulent state. But Clara's defiance only grew. Morgan discovered more: text messages, secret meetings, and a baby, Elijah, rumored to be Chris's son with Jenny. Another secret thrust upon this broken family. How do you pick up the pieces when the people you trusted the most break you the deepest? Amid this wreckage, Jonah, a longtime family friend and Chris's close companion, unexpectedly stepped forward. His presence offered Morgan a fragile new hope, a chance at healing she barely dared to imagine. But for Clara, Jonah's arrival was yet another complication, a threat to the little stability she sought. Can I trust anyone anymore? And through all this turmoil, Clara's own love story unfolded. Her bond with Miller Adams blossomed into something real, a flame flickering beneath the storm. But love in times of chaos holds its own challenges, especially when a family is already fractured by secrets and lies. The days after the accident are heavy with unanswered questions and silent grief. Morgan feels lost in a storm of emotions: betrayal, sorrow, and a deep longing to hold her family together despite the cracks spreading wide. Jonah quickly becomes a steady presence in her life, not just as a friend but as a pillar of support. His kindness and patience begin to seep into Morgan's broken heart, offering a fragile hope she thought was gone forever. But Morgan knows that healing won't come without hard conversations and harder decisions. The truth about Elijah, Jenny's baby, and possibly Chris's son, hangs like a shadow over everything. It's a complicated secret that tests Morgan's strength and pushes her to reconsider what family truly means. Meanwhile, Clara continues to navigate her own turbulent world. Her love for Miller Adams grows deeper, but it's far from perfect. Miller is more than just a boyfriend. He becomes her refuge from the chaos at home, yet their relationship faces pressure from judgmental peers and Morgan's protective restrictions. Clara's teenage rebellion doesn't fade. It shifts, shaped by grief and a desperate need to be understood. She struggles with anger toward her father's betrayal and confusion over her mother's pain. She wonders if forgiveness is even possible, or if some wounds are too deep to heal. One of the most heart-rending moments occurs when Morgan can no longer shield Clara from the truth. She lays bare the full story of Chris and Jenny's affair, the lies, the heartbreak, and the impact it had on their family. Listening is painful for Clara, but the honesty breaks the silence that's haunted their relationship for too long. In this confrontation, the layers of hurt intertwine with moments of tenderness. Both mother and daughter cry, shout, and reveal the vulnerable parts they've kept hidden. It's raw, messy, and ultimately the first step toward mending. Slowly, forgiveness begins, not as a single moment, but a journey. Morgan and Clara learn to acknowledge their shared pain and their love beyond mistakes. The past doesn't disappear, but it no longer controls them. Morgan decides to reclaim her own life. Inspired to chase the dreams she abandoned years ago, she plans to return to college. This decision symbolizes more than education. It's her way of healing and setting new goals for herself and Clara. Clara, too, matures in profound ways. She learns to balance her fierce independence with accepting support from others. Her relationship with Miller faces ups and downs, but offers hope that she can find happiness after tragedy. Jonah remains a quiet force throughout, his connection with Morgan and Elijah a testament to new beginnings. Together they build a fragile but promising family dynamic that hints at brighter days ahead, despite all they've endured. Regretting You captures these intense emotional shifts with a narrative style that keeps viewers engaged, balancing suspenseful plot twists with heartfelt moments of love, loss, and resilience. At its core, the story reaffirms a timeless truth. Even the deepest wounds can begin to heal when empathy and forgiveness lead the way. Morgan and Clara's journey shows us that love isn't always perfect, but it's powerful enough to survive heartbreak, secrets, and loss. If their story moved you, please like, subscribe, and share so others can experience this unforgettable tale of family and forgiveness. Comment below what you think. Can broken families truly heal? And stay tuned for more animated book summaries that bring real emotions to life.